Imagine a world without choices. Imagine you can't make your own decision. That wouldn't be a world for me. That wouldn't be a world for you. You I see. Tell them we're gonna be stronger. Together we can make it right. Our purpose is a better Jamaica for you and I. Gonna be stronger together. Time we all just unify. Our purpose is a better Jamaica for you and I. It is a natural right for every human being to be free. Free, so free. So the government is there to protect you and me. UIC objective is to liberate the citizens from colonial bondage, them regulation, them taxation. Rob Jamaica, we independent.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to UIC Jamaica TV, if you will. The name is Joseph Patterson. So I'm going to be on in a few minutes with Daddy Reds. It says a reggae promotions page, so he wants to chat with me for a little bit. So I'm going to be talking with him, and I'm going to try to stream it here as well. Welcome, JMH. Nice to have you on. So early in the day. We're all used to the nighttime, like 7:30 or so. Winston Wright, greetings, my chairman. Good to see you on as well. Thank you. So I'm going to link up with Daddy Reds. I'm going to be doing that on Instagram, and I'm going to try to see if I can share the conversation with you here, if all works according to plan. So yeah. So we have a few minutes. I think we have like maybe 2 minutes before he comes on. So I wanted to make sure that this is working quite fine. So what's new and exciting out there? There's so much wild things going on in the wonderful world of Jamaica. Sometimes too much to follow up on, you know. If you're not careful, you can become a news junkie. And your life is being driven by one news item after the other. But fundamentally, you know, the problems we have in Jamaica are quite fundamental. Whether it has to do with garbage collection or crime or water problems or low wages or poor working conditions. All of these things link right back to one basic fundamental problem, which is governance. Bad governance versus good governance. And the UIC is committed to kind of trying to educate the Jamaican people on what good governance is and to push us to want that. So some way in this conversation, we'll probably touch on that. I think he wants to talk to me about the UIC and I guess developments in Jamaica. So we'll see. So I'm waiting for him to come on. But while we're waiting, I hope you have all gotten your tickets for the Christmas banquet. Let me know if you've gotten your tickets. I know, Mr. Wright, you would have gotten your tickets already, at least some of them. What about JMH? Are you buying any banquet tickets for the banquet on December 17th? I'm hoping to see as many of you there as possible. So please make sure you get your ticket. All right. Mr. Wright saying him get him ticket. So that's good. I'm trying to get a total of 20 or so sold. I am currently at around 22 projected and sold. So hopefully I'll get there and you'll all be able to match me, maybe. Welcome, Mr. General Secretary, on the live as Zyreth Neal. I know him as Chase Neal, but he's on as Zyreth. Welcome, Mr. Neal. Big up yourself, Mr. Orton. Mr. Orton said this is a bright man and should be given a chance. Wish this message could reach every Jamaican. Vote UIC. We're getting there now, little by little. Little by little, we are reaching the Jamaican people. It's slow and it's difficult, because you know the story already, right? Everywhere you turn, Makaduk they're trying very hard to keep the UIC away from the people, but we continue to push. Whether it's on the social media front or going into the community, we continue to try. All right, here we go. So I am now here, but I can't hear him. Let me see here if I can. This is Talking News Live. All right. Can you hear him? Let me know if you can hear. Can you hear? Can you hear Daddy Reds? Pick up yourself, Future Blood. UIC, pick up yourself. Respect my brother. Can you hear him? Like, comment, subscribe, share. Let me know if you can hear him. Type in your. Okay, good. Perfect. Perfect. But the only thing I have to say is this: if it's joint custody here in America, it's not supposed to be any child support. But you know what they say about the system is a system and it's biased against men and children. All right. All right. Comments, do what you have to do, but right now, that's talking news. Now let's deal with meditative dialogue. We have some work to do. Perfect. We have a gentleman by the name of Joseph Patterson. He is the leader of the UIC. Pick up yourself, Joseph. Respect. Right now, we're going to bring Joseph up here so he can talk some things, all right? So, let's add Mr. Joseph Patterson right now. Let me see. All right, you're not letting me do it that way. You can request. Okay. Live now. All right. Whoops. Let me see if I can turn this around on us here. Beautiful. Here we go. Fine, thank you. I'm doing quite fine. Thanks for having me. All right. Now, the UIC was brought to my attention like maybe 2 years ago when I was putting it in your groups. And I've been, just looking, paying attention. Mm-hmm. I like everything that's being said so far, but let's get the word out a little bit more by you. Just telling us first and foremost, what is the mission statement of the UIP? Sure. The mission statement is to create a non-partisan constitutional republic of Jamaica that will protect the rights of the Jamaican people, the right to life, liberty, and property, and to create a safe, clean, and orderly country where all of us can live, earn, and retire with dignity. All right, perfect. Now, when did this concept of the UIC first hit your head? When did you first create this or think about doing this? I'm trying to pinpoint the moment when it all happened, but I started thinking carefully about politics at the age of around 7. My mother was quite an activist in one of the two parties, so I watched very closely. And by the time I got to 18 years of age to vote, I could not bring myself to vote for any of the two political parties when I observed how they function. So I have never voted for any of them, and I did not follow my mother into joining her party or the other side because I found them to be quite divisive. They were dividing the people, and I've noticed that our European friends have always used divide and conquer as their strategy. So I thought it was, not a very pragmatic approach for us as a former slave colony to now adopt the same European mentality of dividing ourselves and fighting against ourselves. So I left Jamaica. I was 23 years old to live in Canada. And I realized by living in Canada that I didn't have to have burglar bar in my house. I didn't have a fence around my front yard. I could just walk. Anybody could walk up. If I work late at night and coming home from work, I didn't have to be afraid. I didn't have to be looking over my shoulder and be afraid of coming home at, say, 11 o'clock or 10 o'clock or whatever. And I realized business places were open all hours of the night, sometimes 24 hours. So I said to myself, why is it that Jamaica can't have this kind of experience? Why are we living behind burglar bars? Why are we living in fear? I also recognized that in Canada, I was able to quickly develop myself. I could achieve great things very fast, and I could build a business very fast. The opposition to my growth was limited. Even though they said, I was going to a country which is supposed to be a racist place or whatever, I wasn't affected by racism. I was able to navigate everything easily, earn my education. Every business I dealt with, I could learn fast, I could grow. So I said, why is it in Jamaica people are so stunted? Why is it so hard for us to get things done in this country? And so when I returned to Jamaica about 11, 12 years ago because I always wanted to come back. So when I left here at 23, my wife would tell you, the day I left was the day when I started planning my return. So I returned to Jamaica. I returned to Jamaica in 2011, and I spent the first 2 years just re-immersing myself in the culture, in the system, because by now, my mind has changed a lot, right? Because I've now seen a whole heap of different things. So I now had to come back and kind of reconnect. And as I studied carefully, it dawned on me with great clarity that there's no way on God's creation that Jamaica can be saved by the two parties that are a part of the process, a part of the system, a part of the philosophy, a part of the ideology that has crushed us and kept us divided and weak. So I had to do something about it. So in late 2012, early 2013, I conceived of the United Independence Congress and then set about to build it over a very prolonged and painful period that led us to now.
Good. That's what I'm talking about. We have a vision. You have to pursue it. And that right there is going to inspire young Jamaicans worldwide and at home. So that's a good thing you did.
Yeah.
Now, you said hard roads and hardships. Now, speaking of that, within your own party, I'd like you to address something because I'm a real person.
Yeah.
So when I was given, I said I'm going to give you an interview, right? You're going to grace us and let us have the interview. Someone started giving me all these videos, this and that about you. I went through all the videos. But right now, I'm going to put it like this. Could you please address the coup and also the allegations with the bank and the troubles that you've been having regarding getting a commercial bank account?
Sure. One of the challenges we have as a people in Jamaica and in our race in particular is that we have never learned since slavery and probably before how to unite and how to work together as a team to overcome challenges. So I created the UIC primarily with the backing of my wife and a number of persons who have come and gone over the course of the years. Because very few people have the stamina to stick with something as difficult and as improbable and even impossible as this. So we have worked with a lot of people. One of my strengths and weaknesses at the same time, I'm a stickler for process, for performance, for efficiency, for effectiveness. And so I found over the years, while working with my fellow Jamaicans, that many of us do not subscribe to that kind of leadership. They like a leadership which will allow you to get away with things, will allow you to not perform but still be pat on the back, not to deliver on your responsibilities but still to be put on stage and said what a great job you're doing. Well, I don't deal with that. So during the course of me being president of the OIC, sometimes people get upset with that kind of leadership. We have had to vote some of them off the board. So some of those persons who were voted off the board held a grudge and continued to work with some people that were on the board, and they were plotting my overthrow. They couldn't see beyond what they perceive as my faults, because all of us have faults. One of my faults is that sometimes I am not as emotionally intelligent as I should be. So I might tell you things plain and straight up. In fact, I always tell the members of my board that when you come on this board, you must be prepared for frank and forthright conversations. When we go outside, we don't air our dirty laundry. So outside, we're nice and immaculate and clean. But inside of the board, we must take off the glove. And we must fight it out. And we must dig into the problem. We must understand it. We must challenge each other. And so sometimes some people can't take the challenge. And so what they do, they leave with wounds because, if you can't survive on the board that I am chairman for or I am president on, if you can't survive on that board, I'm going to call for a vote for you to come off. So you have some people, for example, some people on our board, for example, they don't understand the importance of strategic planning. They don't understand the importance of separation of duties. You have this task to do, not come meddling on the other task here. Do your task and make the man over here so do him task. And then we come and hold each other accountable. And that's the approach I have taken. So some people don't like that approach. So it gets me into trouble. So we had a coup attempt, and it failed. Now it caused a lot of damage because it, sometimes you have candidates, and you have members who don't understand what I just explained to you. So they see things on the surface level. So for example, a man will say, I can't take it, I can't take the foolishness. What he means is he's not prepared to deal with the conflict. He's not prepared to understand the problem and get at the truth. So he will just leave, take for himself. Now, if you're going to build anything in life, you have to be prepared to deal with conflicts. You have to be prepared to stand up for what you believe in. You have to be prepared to reason things out. And you have to be prepared to take a stance on any issue. And so I've done that.
Yes.
So the coup has passed. We have survived. And guess what happened? Our donations doubled after the coup. So after them left, we have done much better financially. Now they did wound us. They did wound us, right? They hurt us, because there are some people who are looking on who, when they see the whole thing, they just kind of draw back and say, boy, that thing you just start and look on the problem them have already. And that's a part of life. So those persons who are not mentally strong to make it through, they kind of drop off. And then gradually now, as they see that we still stand firm, as they see that we still grow, as they see that we still hold the ship together and they move forward, they will gradually come back home if they mean Jamaica any good.
True. That's what he said. Everybody wants to raise the bomb, but nobody want to plant the con.
Absolutely.
That's what it sound like right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, okay. Now, regarding a commercial bank account,
Yes.
how difficult has it been for UIC to gain one?
All right, super difficult. I'll tell you what happened. In this country, we have banking laws which are designed not to treat every Jamaican equally, but to allow the bank to cherry pick who it's going to give an account. Not because they're following transparent rules, but because they can play with the rules. So for example, the first time we applied for a bank account was in 2016. Okay? And we applied since then to Scotiabank, NCB, CIBC, no, not Scotiabank, CIBC, NCB, JMMB, Victoria Mutual, and all of them have done the same thing to us. They give us a list of things and say, here are the 10, 15, 20 things you need to get. We get them and we provide all of that. Then we'll wait, follow up what's going on. Then they give you another list of 5 things and you provide the 5 things. And you wait and follow up. And then eventually they say, how will you be able to account for where a person get their money from that they give to you? We say, well, what do you want us to do? I said, we can ask them what the source is. So if they say their employment, we can tell you it's employment. They said, no, that's not good enough. You need to be able to verify with certainty where them get the money from. So I said, no problem. Just tell us how the other 2 parties who have an account with you do it, and we will follow the same process. Tell us how the charity, which have an account with you, the charity will get money from all over the place. Tell us how them do it, and we will follow it. They said, no. We can't tell you that. That is privileged information. So I said, and how you expect me to solve that problem? If you can't tell me how they satisfy you, you don't have to name them. You don't have to name anybody. Just tell us how them, the party, and those organizations who are getting money just like we by donors around the world. Tell me how them satisfy you and hold us to the same standards. We will follow that too. They can't tell us, and therefore they won't give us an account. And so for years, we've been battling with this. Incidentally, some of those persons who now went on record and accused me of having a personal bank account, they were also on the board when we tried. And some of them had the responsibility of trying. And they tried while they were on the board, and they failed, just like how others before them on the board have tried and failed. But yet still, in order to try to destroy my character, they go out there and spread innuendo about me I use personal bank account. Of course we use personal bank account because we don't have a commercial bank account. But what we do though, but hear this, Mr. Reds, Daddy Reds, what we do, even though we're using a personal bank account, we have proper checks and balances by having signing officers. So basically, I don't sign anything where the refund is coming to me. Everything which is going outside of the organization to anybody else, it's me and the treasurer, or the treasurer and the chairman, or the treasurer and the general secretary. I don't have dictatorial powers over our finances. I am held to the same strict standards as any other CEO in a well-run organization. So we use a personal bank account, but it's 100% dedicated to the UIC. There's no commingling of funds. We don't mix up UIC money with my money. UIC money is UIC money, and every month or so, a report comes from the treasurer via the finance committee, which has members on that finance committee who are also independent of myself. Chartered professional accountants, MBAs, other people with accounting experience sit on that board, and they have responsibility to make sure everything is okay. So all the lies that they may tell will not work. I know they're trying hard to destroy my character because they know if they destroy me, they destroy the movement. But we won't allow it.
Yeah. And you know what it is? They have spies and agents everywhere. And as an accountant man myself since 1999, I did some of that regarding 9/11. So I know the key word to this is audit. And if there was a problem, you would have found your audit.
Absolutely. And we have audits every year. Every year we have an independent audit firm, a chartered accountant firm that performs an audit. And guess what? Unlike the other two parties, who I don't see their records, they sit on the commission called the Electoral Commission of Jamaica. That body is actually a bipartisan body controlled by the two parties to control the electoral process, and they must get our audited statements. So we are held, the UIC is held to the highest standard compared to any other party in Jamaica, because we are fully under the microscope of two other parties that look forward to our demise, plus independent auditors, plus our own internal controls. So we're very clean. We're the cleanest party in Jamaica, and by extension, the most transparent party in Jamaica.
Because it's public record, your audits, if I'm correct, right?
Say that again?
You got the audit results. Is it public record?
Yes, it's public records. Public records, yes. And we publish it. We actually come online and show the details of our audit reports. We're not afraid. Every dollar we earn, we share that with the public. This year, 2022, we would have gained $5 million, which is peanuts, chicken feeds, 5 million Jamaican dollars. Last year, we had 3 million Jamaican dollars. All the years before last year, we only got $6 million from 2013 until 2021. We only had 6 million in total from outside contribution. This movement has been largely funded by me personally and my wife. So there's nothing to steal unless I can steal from myself.
Exactly. That don't make no sense. Thank you. Now, I like how you touched on the banking aspect. So now, I have three things. You can answer them in any order. Let's say, hypothetically, right now, UIC is, the controlling party in Jamaica right now. So
Yeah.
how would you tackle these three situations? Infrastructure, should I say four now? Jobs, crime, and how the banks deal with people.
Sure. Let me back up a bit and tell you our approach to solving all of those. Jamaica's fundamental problem. Our fundamental problem can be broken down into two parts. Part number one is leadership, or the lack thereof.
Okay.
Part number 2 is our system of governance, which does not provide the appropriate checks and balances we need. So what you're going to find over the history of Jamaica, it doesn't matter what a political leader tells you they want to do or they plan to do. Because when they get elected, the system that they're operating in is a system that encourages corruption and it's difficult for you to make the changes necessary. So the UIC, our first mission is to change the system. So we're going to give Jamaica its own constitution. Right now we're operating under a colonial constitution written by our colonial masters and by the colonial-minded leaders that we have had since 1944 to 1962 to now. So we have to change the mindset of Jamaica, and to change that mindset, we have to change the constitution that governs how we govern ourselves. So we're going to change the constitution. Now, when we change that constitution, it's going to affect all the areas you just talked about. Let's take one. Let's take infrastructure. Right now, Jamaica's infrastructure process is very convoluted and full of corruption from every handle or angle. Now, what the UIC is going to do is ensure that you have, for the first time in our history, subject matters as ministers of government, not politicians. So follow me now. Right now, the way a person becomes a minister of government is that their party win. The prime minister, that is the leader of their party, appoints them to run the various ministries, some of them. And they also appoint some senators that the prime minister single-handedly handpick without any form of checks and balances. He gets to appoint some people him like to become senators and then appoint them as ministers, whether or not they're qualified to do the job. The UIC system is going to change that. Politicians will remain politicians. So all of the elected MPs and all of the senators are going to focus on providing oversight, not getting their hands in the cookie jar. They will not have any ability to spend the money, to touch the money, to influence the money. They're going to focus on monitoring, representing the people. The president now, we're going to have a president that is elected by the people, not a prime minister, which is a backroom selection by a party. The president, who is elected by the people under the UIC system, working with a small team of 3 vice presidents from Cornwall, Middlesex, and Surrey, together with his running mate, a Gen Sec and a Treasury Secretary, the 6 of them are going to now nominate qualified and competent Jamaicans from anywhere around the world with the skills needed to run those ministries. When they nominate them, the Senate, which will now be an elected Senate, right now it's an appointed Senate. We appoint your friend and company. We're now going to have an elected Senate where those senators are elected by their parishes. They are going to vet these nominees, these subject matter experts, vet them, and then make a recommendation to the House of Representatives to vote them in or vote them out. So Jamaica is now going to have an executive branch which is staffed with the highest caliber and competent person to design our infrastructure, manage our education, manage our healthcare, manage our industries, manage our overall development as a nation. Because now we're going to be serious about development and stop playing politics with the lives of the Jamaican people.
Love that. You answer everything. And that does include the situation in the cockpit country.
Absolutely.
Obviously.
As a matter of fact, I can elaborate on the cockpit country a little bit. The bauxite mining as a viable industry for Jamaica. Bauxite mining is a form of, it's like cutting off your nose to spite your face. So what they're doing right now, they allow foreign companies to come in and dig up and destroy our most precious resource, which is our land. Okay? Land is not renewable. When you lose it, you lose it. So having bauxite mining as a key part of your foreign exchange earner is destructive. So the UIC is going to ban bauxite mining in Jamaica to preserve our land for organic farming, to preserve and protect our watershed, to preserve and protect our health as a people and to focus on sustainable development as opposed to short-term, short-sighted development. So we're going to ban bauxite mining and we're going to protect the agricultural industry and make Jamaica an organic farming powerhouse around the world. We're going to model Jamaica after the Netherlands model, where a small country in Europe has been able to become the second largest producer of food around the world. They don't even have what we have. They don't have the kind of land we have. They don't have the environment or climate we have. But yet still they have been able to do very well. We are going to make Jamaica the organic food capital of the world. We're going to ship quality, healthy foods to everybody around the world and make that Jamaica's #1 industry, because that's what God has blessed us with. God has given us the land, the sun, the sea, and a beautiful set of people, and it's for us to use those resources properly. And if we do that, Jamaica will become not just the Singapore of the Caribbean, but the richest country on the planet, because riches is not just measured in money, it must be measured in lifestyle and the health of our people as well.
Exactly, I like that, because then therefore you'll be limiting your imports and increasing your exports so the GDP can get higher. And also, two main commodities that Jamaica have.
Yes.
Wheat and the reggae music, because I'm the reggae ambassador. So how would those two be incorporated in the UIC model?
Well, absolutely. Basically, once you liberate Jamaican people and take the politics and corruption out of the way, entertainment going to bust out. Look what we're going to do with tourism, which is going to really bust everything from reggae to food to you name it. When you shift Jamaica from the mindset of all-inclusive resorts to a tourism model where the entire Jamaica is the resort. Follow me now. The entire Jamaica is the resort. So that mean your brother and sister, your auntie and uncle, nephew and niece, your mother and father go and live in a tourist resort. We, the Jamaican people, are now going to have good roads, good sidewalk, manicured environment, make it look good and smell good and feel good. Now, when you live in that, your spirit going to rise like crazy. Your productivity going to go through the roof. And guess what now?
Yes.
All of we now going to participate in the tourism product. Anybody that want to use them house as a bed and breakfast will be able to do so. You can now go easily and have quality entertainment down a Raytown, in a Tivoli, in a Braze River, in a Artencourt over Hanover, in a Lucy, in a Port Antonio, in a St. Anne's Bay. It's spread out. The whole tourism product spread out. And so now, instead of only having 150,000 jobs in the tourism sector, now you're going to have more jobs than people in this country, because of the way now we would have made the entire Jamaica the product of tourism, but not for the tourists. Make it for we, because we respect we, because we love we. And then because we respect we and we love we can now entertain and treat the tourists with the best of respect and love and entertainment, and enough of them going to want to come back. And all of them going to tell their family and friends. And instead of having what we have now, we're going to triple and quadruple the tourism arrival and increase the income from that, and therefore revalue our dollar, because now we're maxing out agriculture, and we're maxing out entertainment, and we're maxing out providing accommodation, and we're maxing out providing all kind of subsidiary services. And now Jamaica is going to be one of the wealthiest places on earth to live, because we designed it so, not by accident.
Love that, because I always said when they got rid of pasta, that's when it messed up the economy.
Yes.
So you can't track anybody around the world to eat a food. And also, the hotels have something to do with that. And speaking of hotels, what would be done regarding the situation in hotels where all of the money is leaving Jamaica, going overseas, elsewhere, at the same time? It's like they treat the locals did no good, and that whole model needs to be redone.
Yeah.
What are your views on that?
If your government doesn't care about you, then those who come into the country have no reason to do either. So when you have a government that puts the people first now, a government that is building, let me tell you, this is how I look at it. When I observe our politicians, when you go to Fidem yard, when you go to Fidem house, it's pretty. It means then mentally they know what a nice place should look like. They know how nice things should be. Now, if they keep Jamaica dirty, and if they keep Jamaica poorly developed, it means that they don't mean us any good. Now, because they don't mean us any good, when they negotiate deals with companies coming into Jamaica, they're not negotiating those deals with we the people in mind. They're negotiating those deals with their pockets in mind, with the next election in mind. And so what the UIC is going to do, we are going to create a Jamaica where the Jamaican people now have the handle of the knife. And so now anybody coming into our country, coming in to operate on our terms that are designed to protect our interests. So by us making all of Jamaica the tourism product, the all-inclusive industry will now be a smaller part of our offering. This means our farmers will now have ready access to sell more yam and banana and other Jamaican products to all of the other service providers across the country. So you're going to have a really good internal market now. A massively internal market will be developed. And this is going to change the game completely for us and for the tourism industry in total.
Which is right.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know why it's doing that, but anyway, yeah, I love that. Now, before we close out and you give everybody all the links, I'm going to tell you I already have a link for you, a powerful link.
Yeah.
One man dealing with the reggae sector, Mr. Nafidon, he said you are his new political party, and he wants to link up with you guys. So I'll give you a link.
Respect.
On your line 3. That's good.
Excellent.
So I'll get everybody meet you, follow you.
Sure.
And just get the word out.
Absolutely. So wherever you go, just look for UIC Jamaica. So just type in UIC Jamaica anywhere and you're going to find us. So our website is uicjamaica.com. Our YouTube page is UIC Liberty TV. They kind of shut us down right now, so you can find us on the other page, UIC Jamaica, the other YouTube link. You can find us on Facebook, UIC Jamaica, on Twitter, UIC Jamaica. Everywhere you go, UIC Jamaica, we're dead, because this is the movement, this is the party that is committed to the people of Jamaica.
Okay, thank you for your time and everything that you've done. And listen, I believe in you guys. I'll do my part to get the word out because it's all about the people, not the politics.
Absolutely. Right? Thank you. Pleasure. All the best. Respect, my brother. All the best. Take care. All right.
Every time. All right. People, there it is.
All right. So that was it, my friends, on our YouTube channel here. So Daddy Reds, that's my first encounter with him. Quite a fast-paced interview there. Discussions. Hope you gain something from that. Or do you have any questions? Anybody online here have any questions before we log out? Christopher Mullings, I see you have a questioning face. Do you have any questions for me on what you have heard? Gloria Williams, good to see you on. Big up every time. Misha Pius, thank you very much. Good to see you on as well. Joan Levine, thank you so much. Good to see you on. Any other questions or comments before I go? Anybody? Any questions that you want me to answer before I go? Anything you heard me saying that you want an answer to? Please let me know. All right. If nothing, how do you rate the show? What's your ratings? Christopher Mulling says, just concerned about. I don't understand, Christopher. What is YWLIBE? Libe. What I don't know what that means. Sorry. Translate for me, somebody, if you know what it means. But please rate the show. Give me 100% if it was good. Give me a 0 if it was bad, or 50% if it was so-so. What's your ratings? So I can know if I am on the right track or not. Yeah, thank you, Misha. Thank you, Sylvester. Christopher Mulling says, just concerned about liberty. Okay, what do you mean, Christopher? Did I say something that contravenes or contradicts liberty? Cool Guy says, can I donate on another platform apart from the website? Yes, you can. Please go to this number, Cool Guy. Send a WhatsApp message here, and the person here will help you, okay? To donate in other ways. DJ AJ, 100% thank you. Javi, thank you. Kim Mori, regarding the inner city communities, what kind of measures will be put in place while the development is taking place? Wonderful, Kimar. Basically, we're going to be doing a complete social intervention and semi-relocations where appropriate in order to do a complete cleanup of those communities and remodeling. So we're going to redesign the community with the input of the citizens, of course, and completely redevelop the space. It's going to become a mixed area. It's not going to have the high concentration of one set of people anymore. So we're going to make sure that we really mix it up and make sure the space becomes safe, become clean, becomes normal, if you will. Yeah. Christopher Mulling says, good meeting, an island-wide concern. Yes. How many candidates we have now? JMH is saying, JMH, it's always in flux. People come and go. So right now, you can say we have 50 on the books, 25 good or bad, and we're working through the numbers. They're always, fluctuating. Christopher Mulling, state of lockdown by police commissioner. Oh my, it's not the commissioner that's doing it. It's the Jamaica Labour Party government that is enforcing continuous states of emergencies to undermine the rights of the Jamaican people. So let's hold them accountable for that, and we're going to fix that when we're elected. All right. Any other questions or comments from anyone? Where is this now? Whoops. I'm having some. Okay, there we go. There we go. Any other questions or comments? Any suggestions by anyone? You have any suggestions you want to share with us? I was talking to somebody recently and they were asking me, what is the UIC really? And, one of the things that came to mind when I was talking to them is that the UIC is really a rethinking of politics. We're used to one way of doing politics. The UIC is rethinking that for us. It's a bit of a renaissance, a change. We're going to really change the way politics is in Jamaica. Just imagine when we have a political system in Jamaica where it is 100% publicly funded and no longer controlled by the PSOJ. Just imagine when we have a system in Jamaica where the political parties and the rich elites cannot control the process anymore. It is independent of them, and no special interest groups are allowed to control the process. We're even reshaping the way parties are designed. The UIC, for example, is a party which is 100% funded by the people. So we're owned by you. We're not owned anymore by a special interest group. As you know, the two other parties, they are owned by one special interest group, yeah, as opposed to the people of Jamaica. Hello, Joseph Richardson. How are you doing?
Hey, Mr. Patterson, I'm doing well, sir. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Fine, thank you. Thanks for calling in. What can I do for you today?
Wonderful. I'm in Jamaica, and I want a few of the United T-shirts.
Oh, wonderful.
So, how can I get them?
Mm-hmm. All right. Anyone who wants a T-shirt can send a message to the number on screen, which is, let me put it up again. Let me find it, which is our 293 number, 2930812. So just send a WhatsApp to this number that you're calling, and somebody will help you with that. All right. Just say I want to order 2 T-shirts or one, and they will take your address. They'll mail it to you, or they'll tell you where you can pick it up. All right.
All right, sounds good, sir. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Take care. All the best.
Likewise, thanks.
All right. Good. So that was Mr. Joseph calling for his T-shirts. Mac says, Mr. Patterson, I'm really tired. I'm really tired of all the corruption that's going on with the 2 other parties. Me too, Mr. Mac. I am absolutely tired of it. And it's so hard, because they have so much control. They have, when you have a lot of money, right, you get to control people. If the system is designed for you to do that. And so the current system is designed for those with the most money to control the outcomes, to control our lives, to control our economy, control our politics, control our healthcare, control our education. And it's a damn shame what they have done with it. For 78 years now, they have controlled our education and give us the kind of nation you're seeing. The kind of Jamaica you see today is 100% the product of those who have led us to this point. 100%. Welcome, Mr. Wright. How are you doing, sir?
Good evening, my president.
Yes, sir. All going.
I'm here on the streets listening to the Daddy Red's interview,
Yes.
which was quite riveting.
Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. And you have any thoughts on anything you heard?
Yes, as usual, I am impressed by the potential of the organic farming plan that the UIC have.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure others would want to hear more. You didn't get a chance to go in depth with Daddy Reds, but I'd love for you to visit that topic some more.
Sure,
especially
no problem.
with the pending land issues that Jamaicans are having with this corrupt government.
Yes. Thank you for that, Sir Winston. By the way, for all you who are listening, that's our chairman, Winston Wright. You can feel free now, Sir Winston, to go ahead and share your thoughts from a UIC perspective. Okay, no problem. I will do that. No problem. All right.
Sir President, take care.
You're welcome. Okay. So, yeah, Mr. Wright wanted me to talk a little bit more about our organic food capital plan. I hesitate to say a lot in these forums now, because what's going on is everything I say by tomorrow or the next week, you hear it coming from the 2 parties, and at least from the current government in particular. And the problem you have with that is they're prostituting our talking points. They're prostituting our ideas. They're lessening their impact. So by the time the people get around to hearing us, because we're being withheld from the society, when they finally hear it from us, they'll say, I don't know, nothing new. Them promised that to it before. And they won't deliver. They have had 78 years to do so, and they haven't done so. But what we plan to do when elected is to really make Jamaica a superpower in the area of food production, particularly organic foods. So we're going to invest tremendously in maximizing the use of our farmlands and to protect our farmlands from anything bad, including housing development, and to ensure that those farmlands are owned by the born Jamaicans, the people who are the descendants of those who were enslaved on this island. So we're going to make sure that you are the owners of these massive organic food farms. They're going to be modeled in a high-tech way. So we're not going to be doing rudimentary farming. We're going to be in the new era. So very modern greenhouse facilities spread across the country, super managed in terms of nutrients, in terms of lighting, in terms of hair quality, and using the kind of uh, pesticides and herbicides, if you will, that are fully organic and in keeping with producing foods that are cancer free. So we're going to really put Jamaica on the map. Now, all I'm talking to you about has been done already. It's not new. It's going to be new to Jamaica, and it's going to make Jamaica a very different place in terms of how rich we're going to become by exporting this high volume, high intensity organic farming and foods. So we're going to borrow some technology, some knowledge from our people in the Netherlands, and learn from them, and even seek to do better than them where possible. So we're going to really make Jamaica a superpower in the area of farming. This is going to open up thousands and thousands of jobs. You're looking at like a minimum of 500,000 jobs. We're not going to have enough people here in Jamaica, to be honest, to fill all the jobs we're going to create from this. And the jobs are many. You're talking about jobs in technology, jobs in instrumentation, jobs in administration, jobs in different aspects of agri-science, jobs in marketing, jobs in packaging, jobs in distribution, jobs in finance. So a whole lot of jobs. So when you hear me talk about farming, it's not just the person who is doing the physical farming, and there are going to be many persons who are doing physical farming in the sense of the planting and the reaping and the maintenance and so on. But there are a lot of offshoot jobs that will be created. So as we roll this program out, you're talking about we're going to run out of people to do what needs to be done. A lot of retraining will also be done, because a lot of Jamaicans will now get an opportunity to learn how to farm properly and how to farm in a modern era. So we're going to produce a lot of jobs for low-skilled Jamaicans who will now get to upskill within the framework of work. So we're going to try to balance the training with the production. So you're producing while you're training. So you're paying for your training by your high-level productivity. And we have a lot of space here. Jamaica is 15 times the size of Singapore, and Singapore's economy is 10 times ours. So it means that if we were to use economy of scale and make every parish the equivalent of a Singapore, just think how rich this country is going to be when we do that. So that's on the agricultural side. But what we're doing, we're linking all of that together. We're not just doing the agriculture. We're linking the agriculture with the whole business of the environment. So we're balancing the environment with our agriculture. Because we're moving into organics, you're now going to have the spill-off effect of cleaner air in Jamaica, cleaner water, more healthy, nutritious food, some more healthy people. But we're also linking that with the tourism sector by making all of Jamaica a tourist resort. So a part of the tourist attraction will be our organic food production and how we do it, the fascination with it, and to be able to come and visit all of those spaces, and then to eat those food in the homes that you're staying, and to enjoy the fact that our government is big on cleanliness and big on beauty. So now the whole place is pretty. So you now have more gardens, more park, more playgrounds for the children, for the families. So unlike today in Jamaica, where it's just this dirty place with a few nice spots here and there, the whole country now becomes a nice spot. And so you have across all 14 parishes, all 63 constituencies, all 228 divisions, you will have beautiful parks for the people, for the family. Of course, the tourists are going to come and enjoy that. Beautiful botanical gardens, beautiful play areas for the children, beautiful community centers, not the little things you see here now. I'm talking real community centers with gym, with library, with social spaces for you to have like your parties and stuff like that. Real community centers that are staffed. So you have staff inside that are working 24/7, janitors that keeps the place clean, front desk persons that welcomes you, give you the brochure to go. So our community centers are going to be pretty much entertainment hubs, places of all kinds of activities to play badminton, soccer, tennis, in some cases horseback riding, study areas, quiet spaces, arts and craft areas, theaters. So you're talking about little hubs that brings out the character, that lifts the Jamaican character to a different level, more classical. Yeah. So you're going to have now greater refinement coming back into our society where people are proud again, take pride in their dress, pride in their speech, pride in their engagement and socialization. So a very different spirit. So now the tourists, when they come, they feel comfortable 24/7. If you come off of the plane at 1 in the morning, it doesn't matter. It's still a safe and clean Jamaica. 2 in the morning, 5 in the morning, you're just coming home. It doesn't matter. The entire country is going to be one beautiful, mega green city. Yeah, I'm not afraid to use the word green because it's going to be, really adorned with fruit trees, ornamental plants, wild areas that are maintained in a way that makes them attractive, trails. So it's a very connected solution, which is going to, of course, obliterate the crime problem. Once you give people a reason again to hope, a reason to live with expectation, an opportunity to grow through an economy because of merit, because you earned it, then going to school will be fun again. Because when you go to school now, in the UIC way, you go to school knowing that when you work hard and you pass your subjects and whatever, you're going to do well. Because the system is designed to reward you for doing well at each stage of the way. You don't have to worry about having connections anymore. You're not depending on any politician anymore to say, man, I have to go talk to the MP, I forget something. No. No MP will be in any position to give you anything. That's not the aim. The society is going to give you something. The society we design is going to give you a safe space, a clean space, an orderly space, a space designed for productivity, to build our productive enterprises. It will allow the entrepreneurs to go to the moon. It will allow those who want a job to find one. It will allow those who want to be creative to be fully creative in a space that protects their intellectual property. Yeah. So we're looking at a very, very different Jamaica coming out of all of this. So the agriculture working. Now, within the agriculture and the tourism, it's very important that we build our human capital. So we have to change our school system as well. So the school system you're used to now, where it's exam focused, passing exam focused, and very old school, very industrialized, very back then. Now we're going to have a more diverse education system with different paths that you can follow and not feel as if you are belittled because you're not following this path or that path. So you're going to have different paths to follow. You're going to have different types of school. They have high schools that major in sports, some that major in science, some that major in the arts. So it's not going to be this monolithic school system anymore, where it's one size fits all and everybody's pushed through the same strainer. It's now going to be a school system with diversity, a school system where it doesn't matter whether you're rich or poor, you're going to have full access just the same way. But now you're going to have options, you're going to have choices. Your parents will have choices. You're not going to be forced to go to a school that doesn't embrace your parents' values, for example. So our Rastafarian friends will be able to have schools that embraces their religious beliefs. So not everybody's going to be forced now to go to a Christian school, for example, or to go to any particular school that they don't want to go to. You're going to have diversity in the system. But underpinning all of that is what we call the Learning Enrichment Advanced Program. This program turns things on its head. We shift around the whole idea of math and English and science as the driver, preparing you to get a job. No, we want to prepare you to be a successful human being. And that's more than just having a job. So we're going to make the core subject, the chief subjects in our school will be understanding self, mind, body, and personality, understanding others, human behavior, how to build effective relationships in your family, with your friends, with your business partners, and in a global community. And third, understanding money, the science of money, the history of money, the mechanics of how a monetary system works, so that you can make very, very intelligent decisions about your personal finances. So we're going to make the Jamaican graduate a super person compared to any other individual on the face of the planet. Now you're going to have really intelligent Jamaicans, super intelligent Jamaicans that knows more than just math and English or science. They're going to now have those core three areas coming into how they now learn science and math and other disciplines. And the way we teach those other disciplines now will be interdisciplinary, cross-cutting. So you don't learn English in isolation. You learn English in conjunction with history, economics, and science. You learn math in conjunction with science and industry. You learn history in conjunction with economics, money, finance, language, literature. So now we're going to really create some superhuman beings here in Jamaica because of the model of education. And you're not going to be forced to do what you cannot do, but rather you're going to be helped to achieve your maximum potential. What do we mean by that? Key, the moment you enter the school system, you don't get off the rails, if you will, until you want to. So if you find that you're doing so well that you can go on to an undergraduate degree, the system will support you to get there. If you can do so well to earn a master's degree, the system will help you to get there. If you're even so good as you can go the distance to a PhD, the system will help you to go there. So you're not going to have to drop off because you didn't have the funds, because we are going to have a vested interest as a country in seeing to you achieving your maximum educational potential so that you can contribute to the development of your nation by innovating, creating, and transforming all kinds of technology into new things. So Jamaica is going to go on the map now, not for just our music and our food and our sports. It's also going to be because of our intellect. And that intellect begins with changing our system of governance. Already you're seeing it. The master plan of how we're going to change Jamaica from a governance standpoint. Think about it. We're going to be the first true republic the world has ever seen. Not a fake republic like Barbados or Trinidad or Guyana or the USA for that matter. We're going to build on what the USA failed to build on. They could have been a true republic. They started out on the road to becoming a true republic, but they failed. We are going to make Jamaica the world's first modern true republic, where your right to your life, to your liberty, and your property, in other words, your personal sovereignty, is fully and unequivocally protected, never again to be trampled on or violated by any government under any circumstance, whether it's a pandemic, an earthquake, a storm, a hurricane, a plague. It doesn't matter. In a UIC Jamaica, your sovereignty will be fully and unequivocally protected. That's the new model. That is a true republic, by the way. Any system that does not fully protect your sovereignty as a human being is not a true republic. And so the UIC is going to make sure Jamaica is a true republic. We're going to guarantee you a safe, clean, and orderly environment so that you can achieve your maximum potential. The education system is designed for you. The infrastructure is designed for you. The healthcare system is designed for you. As a matter of fact, our healthcare system will be very different from what you have now. In our healthcare model, again, we put you first. What do we mean by that? We're not going to force you to use one prescribed form of medication or sets of medication. Today, what they call traditional medicine, is it? Yeah, traditional. What they call medicine today, we're not going to force you to follow that as the only prescribed path. We want to make sure that we encourage and promote and facilitate indigenous practices, indigenous medicine, natural healing, natural medicine. We're not going to do away with the so-called traditional. That's going to still be there because we believe in options. But we want to make sure that we respect, entertain, foster, promote, encourage the development of alternatives so that we're not dependent in the next pandemic on one solution coming from the colonial powers telling us this is the way, walk ye in it. No, we want to know that you understand. Let's bring back the knowledge to understand our herbs, understand our nature, understand our bodies, understand how to heal ourselves, and not be dependent on importing expensive medications of whatever sort, some of which are just poisons. We need to be able to re-engage in the things that came even from our motherland in Africa, where our people used to know a whole lot of ways to cure a whole lot of things, but it has been stifled, oppressed, repressed, pushed out of our knowledge, pushed out of our traditions, pushed out of our history. Let's bring those back. Let's learn from them and improve on them. So natural medicine, holistic medicine will become a normal part of our new system. Most importantly, preventive care is going to be a key part of our system. We're going to make sure that our people learn how to care for themselves from basic school, primary school, secondary school, university, college. Let's make sure we teach ourselves, teach our children, teach our families how the body works, the mind, the body, the personality, and how to live in oneness with nature. Not to fight against nature, not to make nature our enemy, but to make nature our friend, to protect nature and in turn benefit from nature and grow together with nature in a very healthy, holistic, and transformative way. Let us transform nature in a way that empowers mankind and all the species on which we depend for our existence. Let's produce and protect clean air. Let's produce and protect clean water. Let's harness the sun and engage in such a way with the sun, the water, and the soil so that we end up with food security, so that we end up with water security, so that we end up with energy security. And any country that is water, food, and energy secure cannot be managed, manipulated, or in any way oppressed by the colonial powers. But we first have to make sure that we're willing and ready to work for that. And that's what the UIC is about. We're going to make Jamaica a truly free and independent country. And we're going to start that by first making you a truly free and independent person. We believe the greatest minority is the individual, and a good system, a true system of governance, must be one which protects the sovereignty of the individual. If we liberate every single Jamaican, if we empower every single Jamaican and not seek to stifle people's decision-making, stifle their right to freedom of choice, freedom of movement, or freedom of association, if we liberate our people, empower our people through education, and true education, not the kind that we have been exposed to, but an education that truly opens the mind so that we don't think merely the thoughts of other men, but we learn to think our own thoughts. We learn to question things. We learn to analyze. We learn to reason. We learn to say, even though it has always been done this way, maybe it can be done another way. And that's why we're going to change the governance model, because we don't have to keep following the partisan divide and conquer model. We don't have to continue to allow them to distract us and deceive us while extracting our wealth from us. We can have a different model. We can have a better way. We can have a Jamaica that unites us instead of a system that divides us and deceives us. So the UIC is about innovation in every area of life, from our politics to our economics, to our education, to our healthcare, to our infrastructure. We're going to look for new and better ways. We're going to learn from everybody around us. Take the best that we can from other countries, discard the rest, and use our own genius imagination to think of better ways to improve upon these and make them work for us, and then inspire our friends in the rest of the African diaspora and in Africa, all around the Caribbean, inspire them to join us in the fight for true freedom, where every man, woman, and child is awarded their basic, fundamental, God-given human right, and that is the right to be free. The right to have the freedom of choice, the right to be able to self-actualize without anybody stealing that opportunity from you, the right to have a government that doesn't seek to control you, but rather facilitate your development into the great human being that your Creator meant for you to be. That is what the UIC is about, and that is what we're going to achieve, God willing. It won't be easy. It's very, very hard because everybody is against us. The PSOJ doesn't want you to hear about us. That's why they control the media. The two parties they control don't want you to hear about us. That's why they don't even mention the UIC's name. But you, my friends, we are greater than them. There are only 63 members of parliament, 21 senators, 258 councillors, and a few guys that controls all of them as the PSOJ oligarchy. We, the 3 million Jamaicans at home and the 4 million Jamaicans abroad, we are much more than them. All it takes is for the scales to fall from our eyes, for our eyes, our minds to be opened, for us to see that the power is in our hands, that we don't have to continue to follow two colonial parties that were designed, developed, and controlled to divide us, to distract us, to deceive us. We don't have to be controlled by them anymore. We can free our minds. We can free ourselves from the mental slavery that they were chartered to keep in place. We can overcome the trickery, the deception. We no longer have to identify with their color, with their bell, or with their fist. Instead, we can open our hands and clasp the hands of our fellow Jamaicans and together become Jamaicans again. One Jamaica, stronger together. Thank you very much. Take care until we talk again. All the best.